Hello and welcome to NixOS Discovery. So I basically already recorded, so to say, by my standards, a pretty good show. So I'm kind of going along this packaging the idiom webcam for the Nix packages, and I made some really nice progression in the last video. But somehow the sound was not recorded, so it's kind of silly to stay with that. So I deleted the video and I will now upload a new one. Sadly, well, this already happened a few times, and from the perspective of learning, that's really good, because then you can go along the same steps you did, but somehow it gets faster and everything. What I do kind of miss is this, and what this channel is kind of trying to do is to kind of not just go along a tutorial or like present something, but kind of really show the stumbling process, so to say, and the exploration itself, how to deal with things. So what did I do that was deleted? No, so as you can see, so first I named the video packaging a deb file, which was not the correct way to name it, right? Then we did packaging a binary for NixOS, and now I've realized in the in between that even this title is kind of wrong. Okay, so what did I do? My idea was to follow along again through the NixDev tutorial packaging existing software with Nix. I already did a video with this tutorial, and it's kind of nice, but of course everything is too perfect in the sense that, right, everything's like explained really well, and the hello package, the hello binary, well, it's nice really to see how things go along. But now I decided to kind of compare to use this tutorial, right? To use it as a kind of a reference point, and at the same time to package Irinium webcam. So I'm going to learn how to package my program following along the NixDev tutorial. And along that, we might find some new things that were maybe not said. Like I did find a couple of things that I may even suggest to the NixDev documentation team. This is how I basically did my first contribution, right? Going along the tutorials and, finding things where you stumble. Now, I think it's important to cover all the cases, right? So if something is really not clear, it's really good idea to go on the Matrix channel, at least of the Nix documentation team, and check out with them. They're really nice people, right? So check out, like, I did this, I did that, but maybe I didn't understand this or that, and then maybe the document itself, the tutorial, could be not like changed, but more like expanded, So for me, it was very interesting. And as I said, I've recorded it, but it was like a long one. And at the end, there was no sound. So now I'm making a new one. Although I'd had some other plans now to do. I want to make it now because it's still fresh in my mind. So I want to go through it again. And yeah, and let's see what we are going to do. So also one more thing, the package itself should take the deb file, and unpack it in the build process. So my mistake before was that I kind of took the deb file itself. I downloaded the deb file manually, I extracted it, and then I went along to build the Nix default, the default.nix, or then basically I went then to build the Nix file that will package it. But that's the wrong. I've actually skipped the wrong. I that's not the correct way to do it. Because if I want to share this Nix file, right, with someone who also wants to download the program, well, it's important that, so the link itself of the program, it's a deb file, right? The idiom is not giving the file as a source or something. So there's only a deb file. So they kind of just made a deb file. I've checked their page. Idiom GitLab IO. So if you go to GitLab IO, it already goes to a home page kind of a thing. And copyright 2020. I'm not sure if this is even actual. Webcam for Ubuntu 18.04 or later required. Is this still maintained? I don't even know, right? But anyway, it will be a good practice. The webcam works. I've tried it on Windows, and I tried it on... Did I try it on Ubuntu? No, I tried it on Windows. It works on Windows, though. Webcam for Windows. So okay, there's look, there's a link here, GitLab IO, idiom webcam -2.8.3 deb. So the Nix build process is supposed to get the deb file, extract the deb file into in the unpack phase, and then in the install phase make all the directories and stuff. And so that's what we're going to do today, right? Isn't that fun? And we're gonna go along the Nix dev tutorial at the same time, right? So, but first, and also one more thing, and I saw that with Sylvan when he does his Nix hour. So what's great about him is that he immediately starts to test things. But he tests things like if he builds something, he'll do a Nix build. And wait a second, I have to make this clear. This is it. To start, consider this skeleton derivation. So in the last video, I was chatting with ChatGPT and we make some kind of a derivation, which was, it's not the best learning approach. This is great because it starts from zero. It starts with a function, a bare bones, the most minimal function. And that's what Sylvan does also. Like in one of the videos, he writes the most minimal configuration.nix, like just with the boot and I think with 3 lines. And it's really nice to start like that with the bare minimum, almost like in some kind of an identity kind of a thing that you expand from. And then it's much better to somehow keep the information in your head as you progress along. So let's just start, all right? Let's just start. So to start, consider this skeleton derivation, standard environment, and I'm going to go to a console and ls, let's go to code, ls idiom, ls. So this is what we did so far, okay? And bet idiom webcam.nix. This is what we did, stand and fetch. But let's do this again. I want to do this again because it's important to, well, I just want to do it again, right? I'm going to remove the default.nix and idiom webcam nix, and now I'm left with nothing. So let's open editor and Helix to start, consider this skeleton derivation. So idiom webcam.nix. They don't already start with this. They just open, I guess, an editor. Do they save it? How are they going to save it? Yeah, they're going to add the hello and everything and save it as hello.nix. So we're going to start and like this. Wait. So we're going to start with a function. So this is a function which takes an attribute set containing standard environment and produces a derivation which currently does nothing. So let's write std_nv, and this is the argument list basically. And let's go into the next line, standard nv mk derivation, the function derivation, and the body of the function is empty. So this whole thing, it's kind of like, and I showed this in the video also. I showed it, yeah. So it's kind of, let's go to Nix REPL, right? Let's say you have an x, and this is the argument, right? So this is all pure functional programming. So a function has an argument list or an argument, and then a body, and this is the x. So this is a lambda. A lambda is kind of I think there are really good definitions online for this. Don't quote me. But lambda is kind of an anonymous function because it does not have a name. Yeah, we could name it like identity. Identity is XX. And now it's not written lambda, but we have identity. It's a lambda, you see, but the name is identity. So if we pass it an argument, so look at this. We can pass it like this, x, argument x, body x, right? So we're going to pass into an argument. We're going to give it an argument 2, which will go into 2, the argument list. And the body of the function takes the argument, right, and outputs the argument. It only outputs it because the body does not do anything except just prints it out. So it will just output 2, right? So if we write x, we could do it with 2 also, right? Like x, like with 2 arguments, x and y. And can we just do it like xy, 1 and 2? We cannot, which is not a, because it's calling it as a function. I guess you would have to put it in brackets or sorts. X, Y, and I don't think you can use comma. No, you cannot use comma. Maybe you could, see, this is now interesting. X, Y, maybe X, Y. No. X, Y, X, Y. Well, maybe I could put it in an attribute set. 1, 2. No. Wait, well, let's try this. X, Y, and put it like this, right? And 1, 2. No. Wait, X, Y, X, maybe like this. X, Y, 1, 2. No. Maybe a dot. X, Y. Wait, let me check with ChatGPT. We have an identity function in Nix REPL, like XX, like X, okay, wait, XX, and we pass it an argument, let's say 2. So we get X, X, and 2, which gives 2. But let's say I want the REPL to just print out 2 arguments without doing some kind of operation. So kind of like X, Y, and I pass it 1 and 2, and it prints out 1 and 2. And Nix functions can only return a single value. Functions do return a single value. Oh, we have to change. Wait, okay. In Nix, functions can only return a single value. So to print multiple arguments without performing any operation, we need to combine the arguments into a single structure like a list. That's what I thought, at least, or an attribute set. Maybe I... Oh, just like this. X without the X, Y, 1 and 2. Like this. All right. Just a moment. All right. So NixREPL. If you pass in 1 and 2 to this function, it will display both values. If you want named values, you can use an attribute set. Okay, so this is a nice... If you want named values, you can use an attribute set. So I guess this is a nice way how you can... Oh, this is nice. Wait, X, Y, and an attribute set. First is 1, and second is 2. We close the attribute set, right? We close the brackets, which would output, but it doesn't output it. A lambda string. Maybe we should pass it. Okay, now I'm okay, let's get back to this, right? So basically the point was we have an argument list here, which is an attribute set, and we're going to just pass it the standard environment, and then we call that in the body standard environment mk-derivation, which is a function that makes derivations, with an empty body. Right. So let's get back to R. So the nice thing about this tutorial is that it really starts from, starts from 0, which is nice. Except, like you could get some kind of a tutorial where the whole thing is already written in the beginning. So this is nice. Mitzi. Just a moment. My cats are jumping around. All right, so this is a function which takes an attribute set containing standard environment and produces a derivation which currently does nothing. So GNU hello, so in our case it will be idiom webcam, add a pname attribute to the set. So we need a name. Every package needs a name and a version, and Nix will throw error derivation name missing without. So let's add our pname. All right, so we have to open it here. And I think also this, is this the correct? Well, let's keep it like that. So let's write pname is what? Pname is idiom webcam, right? And version is, what's the version? 2.8.3. 2.8.3. So that's it. Next, you will declare a dependency on the latest version of hello, in our case, idiom webcam, and instruct Nix to use fetch zip to download the source code archive. Now the hash we'll need the hash. Yeah, the hash cannot be known until after the archive has been downloaded and unpacked. Nix will complain if the hash supplied to fetch zip is incorrect. Set the hash attribute to an empty string and then use the resulting error message to determine the correct hash. Now also, this is what I wondered in the first video. Does the pname, like, look at this, hello. Do you write idiom webcam with a capital I or a small letter? And ChatGPT said like the common, what's the word? Not the tradition, the tradition of naming Nix packages, pname is with a small letter. I don't think even small is the correct word. Yeah, anyway, but not with a capital letter. Yeah, well, so yeah, I kind of wonder that if it's a capital hello or small. Now we will have to fetch the deb file. So source fetch URL, fetch zip. So we will need to use fetch URL, not fetch zip, because deb is not an archive. I thought deb is an archive. but deb is actually not an archive. Deb is, what is a deb file anyway? A package format. A deb is essentially an archive. Why? Yeah, similar to zip, and it consists of 3 main parts. Can fetch, zip, extract a deb file and next. I don't think so. No, fetch zip is specifically designed for zip and tar, and would automatically extract. A deb file is a different type of archive, structured more like an R archive with embedded tar files. Yeah, so it said like we will need to use the fetch URL to download the deb file and a custom unpackPhase to extract the deb contents using a tool like dpkg-deb, R, or tar. So we can use the dpkg-deb x source, and this kind of didn't work. It gave me source in yeah, okay, let's go step by step. So we need now, what do we need? We need source. Okay, source. And don't forget to add, okay, let's go to the beginning. So this is idiomwebcam.nix. Now fetch zip, all right. Now we need, don't forget the comma here. That's kind of a fetch zip, fetch URL. Fetch URL. This is kind of also weird. Why is there a comma here? Is this correct? I think this is not correct. Is this a mistake? Let's just check this. I don't think so. I think at the last one, you don't put the comma. It's conventional to use the attribute set style. There should be no comma, yeah. Wow, we find, I guess I'll have to contact Nix documentation team again. Sorry. No, not again. This is really not. I was just, I didn't contact them that many times. Just a couple of times. Just 2 or 3 times. I'm not even a contributor. I just contributed one little thing. So it was more like a joke. Again, it sounds funny. This specifies the standard environment and fetch zip are inputs to this derivation. Fetch URL. But why is it unused binding? So yes, I have to learn how to navigate through Helix. So source is fetch URL and standard MK derivation, fetch URL, and we're going to need here fetch URL, the URL. Okay, what's the URL? HTTP, that's this thing here. We're gonna copy the link, put it in double quotes, paste it in, right? And we have the link. Now, what is else that we need? Packaging, URL SHA-56. Now, I think this is kind of a hack in itself. SHA, why is this red? Undefined name. Yes, there should not be white space. SHA-56. Did I put? I didn't. You see this? Yeah. All right. Semicolon, semicolon, semicolon. Semicolon. Yeah, this is with semicolons. I kind of don't like that. It'd be nice if without the semicolons. I don't know. Semicolon. All right. Fetch URL. Let's just zoom out a bit. So what do we have? Standard environment, fetch URL, standard environment, MK derivation. Oh. Sorry about that. Fetch URL, standard environment, MK derivation. Irium webcam version. Source. SHA. That kind of looks correct. So save this file to hello.nix and run nixbuild to observe your first build failure. Nix-build hello.nix. All right, we've saved it so. So we have now idiomwebcam.nix. Now we're going to do nixbuild idiomwebcam.nix and let's see what happens. Cannot evaluate a function that has an argument without a value. Fetch URL. Cannot evaluate. We got the same error, so I guess that's success. Standard environment fetch.zip. It's funny that it didn't output because, wait a second. This shouldn't work. Look at this. Let's try like this, expecting, we see syntax error. Oh, it doesn't show it has a syntax error. Why doesn't it show? I will remember this because it's kind of, all right. So the expression in hello.nix is a function which only produces its intended output if it's passed the correct arguments. But what does that mean? Constructs, functions. Yeah, I guess this isn't really, I don't know. Like if I read this for the first time, even now, building with nixbuild. Standard environment. So this is the standard environment. Is available from Nix packages, which must be imported with another Nix expression in order to pass it as an argument to this derivation. So I guess the presumption is that it's using something from NixOS, but it's basically not. So you are kind of defining it from zero. So you need to pass, like you don't have the arguments to pass. Yes, you declare them, but you need to import Nix packages which have these functions available, and then with them, I guess you build, from which must be imported with another Nix expression in order to pass it as an argument to this derivation. So the recommended way to do this is to create a default.nix file in the same directory as hello.nix with the following contents. We're just going to copy this and change so that it suits our program, our package. So we need to make a default.nix, paste this in, and we're just going to change here, hello. We're going to idiom webcam, right? And we're going to idiom webcam. So we have idiom webcam, and here we are calling NixOS 2405. I wonder if we can call unstable, but maybe let's just stick with this. So now basically we have something to call. So it's gonna call, I guess, these arguments are gonna be called inside. I'm not sure if that's the right word. And then the idiom webcam.nix can use fetch URL and standard environment. Okay, now we have a default.nix and idiom webcam nix. This allows you to run nixbuild-a hello to realize the derivation in hello.nix, similar to the current convention used in Nix packages. All right, so now run the nixbuild command with the new argument. And here's note. So call package automatically passes attributes from packages to the given function if they match attributes required by that function's argument attribute set. That's the mistake in the last mistake. That's what I did in the last video, but I was calling each package individually inside the idiom nix file. So here, maybe this is cleaner. In default.nix, you call the nix packages, and then you use the functions inside the idiom webcam nix. I guess that's cleaner. So in this case, call package will supply standard environment and fetch zip to the function defined in hello.nix. And there's a tutorial here that goes along. I did this actually, but maybe because it was out of context, I should redo it again, but maybe not now, although it would be interesting also. Let's get back to this. Now run the nixbuild command with the new argument. And now this is what this same mistake I did when I did this nixdev tutorial. And it's because look at this. First you did nixbuild idiom webcam .nix. And now you do nixbuild-a idiom webcam. You see, without the dot. And what I did and what someone may do, because it's just, I don't know, the way we work, -a, and look at this, idiom webcam .nix. You might do the same thing, because now you wrote a default.nix, and now your nix build is not going to be just idiom webcam nix, but it will be -a, because -a is supposed to, you know, do this magic of sorts. And now look, you do this, and it's wrong. Attribute nix in selection path idiom webcam.nix not found. So you might get stuck in this, hey, what's going on? Not even thinking, right? So it's important to lose the .nix and just nix build-a idiom webcam nix, because I guess this is building the idiom webcam nix package. If you do this, found empty hash, that we're supposed to do, and two derivations will be built, trying, and it's downloading, error hash mismatch in fixed output derivation, specify this, got this. So we're supposed to copy, so look at this, we have SHA-256 dash, we're supposed to copy this part, including the equal sign, or not? No, not, without the equal sign. So SHA-256 dash, and equal sign, you leave out. So you need this thing, you copy this, and you go back to the hx idiom webcam nix, and here in the SHA, you paste that in, right? And that's how we get the SHA. Now run the previous command again, nix build-i idiom webcam, and hash has wrong length. Well, why does he have a wrong length? Let's see. SHA. Oh, and this is a different, this is not the way, this SHA-256, a colon. All right. So this is the wrong, wait, what's the way, there's a way how you wait, B and word up, yeah, and D. All right. I got that from Helix. B back, W word, and delete. Let's try again, leaving this blank. And maybe recheck what did we get here. SHA-256. Maybe we need the... What's the SHA? What's the SHA I have to copy? The SHA hash format you're seeing is base 64 encoded hash. However, Nix typically expects the hash in hexadecimal. You can use this base 64 encoded hash directly by prefixing with SHA-256 like this. Really? Or simply use Nix prefetch URL. Let's try the Nix prefetch URL. See what we get. Oh, so why am I using fetch URL? So why am I using fetch? Nix prefetch URL is just for the hash. So Nix prefetch URL is just for the hash, not for getting the program. Because why then I'm using fetch URL? Nix prefetch URL is primarily used to calculate and verify the SHA. Use Nix prefetch URL to download the file once, calculate its hash, and display it in the correct format. Copy the hash from Nix prefetch URL into your Nix file, where you use fetch URL to actually fetch and cache the file during builds. So maybe this is a better way than that. This is another question. So make a note of this, and I will ask you later to output all the questions I have for the documentation team. So the first one is, should there be a note of adding some info to pname names of programs should not be in capital letters, and then there is a comma after fetch zip in the hello tutorial, and then this one too. Fetch zip is getting the hash and the user is manually copying it, but the format looks different when I use it now. So should there be a mention of Nix prefetch URL? And I will ask you later about this, okay? Did you get this? Memory updated? Got it. I've noted these questions for the documentation team. Let me know if you have more to add. All right. You're gonna get a thumbs up. All right, finding the file hash. Well, let's take this one. Nix prefetch URL, and right, let's use this one. and let's next build it. This derivation will be built. Excellent. What's the problem? The problem is the unpack phase. So even though here it worked, the unpack and the building, because I guess the hello is a simple program. There's a fetch, yeah, we have a deb package. So as I said in the first video, I extracted the deb, which was a mistake, which was okay, but still, you learn, right? I extracted the deb, and then I went on to write this, but we're supposed to get the deb. That's the source, basically. We don't have a source. The link is the deb package. So we're supposed to get the deb, and within the next build, we should unpack the deb. Now, how are we going to unpack the deb? Build result. So this is where we have to stop here, and at least until we get to some kind of a result. So we have to find a way how to unpack the deb. So ChatGPT actually gave me a wrong mistake. It kind of wrote it did suggest the right thing. It suggested that to use the dpkg-deb, but after going online, I watched some of the threads and I found this example. Someone was repackaging a deb file for NixOS. And this part, the dpkg-deb extract source unpack. And yeah, now he's writing it because he has memory. It has memory, so now it's correct. But first he offered like source in parentheses and a dot, as in extracted in the current directory, and then that didn't work. Let me show you. Hey, so yeah, we need to make buildInputs. buildInputs dpkg. Do we have to declare it dpkg? We do. Fetch URL dpkg. All right. So you see, I guess this is how you build things. This is like really functional programming. dpkg. So now the unpack phase. Unpack phase is like one of the phases, I guess, what standard environment does. There's like this unpack phase, install phase, post-install phase, where you define things, what are going to happen. So there'll be also an install phase where we will have to arrange how are the extracted or unpacked files going to, where are they going to go, or where they're going to think they're going to go. Unpack phase. So double quotes, dpkg. So first thing what it did was dpkg-deb extract and this source and a dot, and this didn't work, right? So I'm just going to write now source unpack. This is what I'm seeing here, x source unpack. Now this is in double quotes, but we don't need to put them in double quotes because we have double quotes here. Now, what is this source? This has a meaning in Nix. What's the meaning of what's the meaning of source, right, in this phrase? So source is an environment variable that refers to the path of the source file specified by the source attribute. When you use source fetch URL, Nix downloads the file and stores it in the Nix store, assigning its path to source during the build. Ah, yes, I forgot what's the name. I read this. This is called, I forgot. But it's kind of referencing, it's referencing my cats are having a wild run. It's referencing the source, unpack. Source, so $source represents the full path to the downloaded deb file in the Nix store, and dpkg-deb, this command, right, source unpack, instructs dpkg-deb to extract this file into the unpack directory. Oh wow. Shh, Mitza. Whoa, what's going on? Hey, calm down. They really love each other, but sometimes they fight, but sometimes it escalates, All right. Native build inputs. You see, but there's look at this file. He has native build inputs. UnpackPhase. And I have what? I have build inputs. I don't get it. Should I put native build inputs or just build inputs? For handling deb files with dpkg, you should use native build inputs. This is because dpkg is a tool needed only on the build machine and isn't part of the runtime environment required by the final package. Oh, so this is the difference between native build inputs and build inputs. This is what I forgot. Native build inputs. Used for tools required only during the build process on the host. Build inputs reserved for dependencies that the resulting package might need at runtime. So, well, then this is wrong. I'm wrong. Native. All right. All right. dpkg. But do I still declare it in the attribute list? Do I still declare it in the attribute list with standard environment and fetch URL? Yes, you should still declare dpkg in the attribute list at the top along with standard environment and fetch URL. This ensures that dpkg is correctly imported and available for use within the derivation. UnpackPhase. Yeah, I guess we don't even need this. UnpackPhase double quote. Well, maybe we should do it like this. It looks cleaner. UnpackPhase is, since it's only one line. Okay, let's skip it. Expecting syntax error. There's a syntax error. Source fetch URL. Maybe there's yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it should be like this. Yeah, these semicolons, they can really bite you. Let's step out a bit. Well, now we have, something going on. So can we try again? Packaging existing software. We have the SHA. We have the unpackPhase. Okay. Oops. Let's go out and let's try again nixbuild-a. Div was too quick. While evaluating derivation, whose name attribute is located at. But why is it giving me these links? While evaluating attribute source, function anonymous lambda call with unexpected argument. This looks like a typo. UnpackPhase. I don't think this is the. Let's do this. Let's try like this. So this is correct. Source fetch URL. Standard MK derivation does not have a closing semicolon. Fetch URL does. Source fetch zip. Source fetch URL. Fetch URL dpkg. Let's try again. Yeah. I think this is a different kind of an error what we are getting from. Wait a second. The error message indicates the fetch URL is being called with an unexpected argument, likely because unpackPhase is mistakenly being included in the fetch URL's function instead of in the standard MK derivation. This usually happens if there is a misalignment in where attributes are placed. Fetch URL should only contain URL and SHA, yes, while unpackPhase belongs directly under. Oh. Fetch your source. Oh. Yeah. Now I see. The fetch URL should be closed. This is the mistake. The fetch URL, the source, so the source, fetch URL, and SHA. That's it. Okay. Is this the same here? Yes, it is. It's just that I added the mistake was that I added the native buildInputs and unpackPhase within the source. That was the mistake, because this only applies to how it gets the file and computes the SHA. It should not be along with some other build steps. So source, native buildInputs, unpackPhase, these are all separate, right? Now it should work, or it should work in a different way. So this derivation will be built. Awesome. Running phase, unpackPhase, running phase, patch phase. No configure script doing nothing. Running phase, build phase, no makefile, doing nothing, no. So builder for failed to produce output path for output out. at Nix store. So this is where I actually stopped, because now we are supposed to create some kind of an install phase. We still do not have, as you see, we don't have a result. It did not build a derivation. What we are supposed to do now is we need to make some kind of install phase. Okay, so we need to add now some kind of install phase. Now, how am I going to find that out? Should I now locally, as I am making the package, extract the deb file and study the file structure, and then see how the install phase should continue? So I guess that's the approach, actually, what I did in the first video. To create an effective install phase, you should first extract the deb file locally to study structure. By examining the structure directories and files, you understand where the program's components like binaries, libraries, and configuration files are located, which helps you decide how to copy them into out during the install phase. Steps to study the dev file structure: run dpkg to extract it. This creates an unpack directory containing the deb file. So we're gonna just dpkg-deb. All right, let's quit this and let's dpk. We don't have dpkg-deb. So what do? We go to Nix shell. pdpkg. I already have it. Look at this. Already did this. dpkg run dpkg-deb extract Iriun webcam. Oh, I don't have it here. Let's download it. Well, let's do like this. Let's do Nix shell. Let's do Nix shell p toilet. Yeah, dpkg, and we need curl also. We need curl to get the deb package, right? Nix shell p dpkg and curl. Now we have a Nix shell, right? And here we are going to get curl. How do you get a what's the command? You can copy the link. Okay. How do I download this link? With curl. It's like curl dash something, right? You can download the file using curl with the O option. Curl. I guess you have to name it. All right. So we're going to do this. And we have Iriun webcam. Okay. Now let's extract it with dpkg. dpkg something extract. You can use the following command: dpkg-deb unpack directory. We can just use this. It's fine. No. Copy dpkg-deb. It's not a Debian format archive. What do you mean? ls. And unpacked. But why does it say? This is weird. Why does it say it's not a Debian format? File might not be a valid, or might not be a standard deb format. Check the file type. Run file. All right, let's investigate. Oh, I think curl didn't really download it. Oh. What? I think curl command didn't download it because it says it looks like curl downloaded an HTML file. This can happen if the URL is redirected or if the server responded with an error page. It did redirect to GitLab. No? To ensure you're getting the correct file, try adding the L option to curl to follow any redirects. Well, that's interesting. Let's do this. Yeah. ls idiom webcam. Let's now check the file idiom webcam Debian binary package. All right, so okay, now it works. Extract it again with dpkg-deb. dpkg-deb unpacked. And we have the unpacked. All right. We unpacked it into unpacked directory. So let's go to unpacked. We have etc and tree. Let's use tree. I like tree. So etc modprobe d modules load usr user local bin share applications and pixmaps. So we're going to have to find a way how to put where to put all these files in the install phase. And ChatGPT is kind of good for these things. Okay, here is the tree structure. With this structure, we can design the install phase to place files in their appropriate locations without, here's an example. So install phase, create target directories, mkdir, copy configuration files, copy binary, copy, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of install phase. So that's all needed when making a package on NixOS. Yes, the install phase can sometimes be extensive in Nix packaging, especially for software without standardized build scripts. This is common when packaging software from deb files. However, there are ways to simplify or streamline the install phase. Use directory copying. If your unpacked directory layout matches what you want in out, you could try copying entire directory structure with fewer commands. cpr unpack etc out, cp unpack out, cp unpack is share out share. If certain files or directories don't need to be in the final package, you can skip them. But how do I know that? Automate common patterns. Mod probe modules load, bin pixmaps. Yeah, I'm just not sure if I really need copy binary, copy desktop entry and icon. Like, do I need the desktop? Need the desktop entry and icon? I guess this package deb was made for Ubuntu. But let's say I'm not using a DE. You can skip the desktop entry and icon. But maybe that's important. You only need to copy the essential files, typically the binaries and configuration files. Yeah, I'm not sure, because there are copy desktop entry. There is, look at this, but there is a, do I have some kind of a, how do I view PNG? There's a PNG. Should I copy that too? Install phase. Well, let's try it. I guess I can exit now. And I can do Irion. Let's zoom out a bit, and I guess we're gonna make this, add this into the unpackPhase. Yeah, maybe I should check some other webcam files and see what they copy. But let's try like this. Nix shell, nix build. Whoa! It built. No configure script doing nothing. No make file doing nothing. But it did something. There is a result. This looks like success. Wow, this looks like some kind of success. It looks like a successful build. You now have a working Nix package with the build output located in the Nix store and results symling to that output. Test the binary. Run the binary to confirm it's working. Really? No, come on. Result bin. This will, by the way, this will be, if this works, this will be my first package. Irion webcam. No, this won't work. Check the contents. Could not start dynamically linked executable, of course. Permalink stub-ld. Right? Binary relies on a dynamically linked interpreter that doesn't align with NixOS strict isolation from the global file system. NixOS uses its own library path, so generic Linux binaries may not find the necessary dynamic linker. Oh, patchelf. Patchelf to native build inputs. That was, I saw here, look at it. In this example, native build inputs, patchelf. I saw some patchelf. Look at this. But I think patch the binary in the install phase, add patchelf to native build inputs. So we need to add patchelf. I guess we could try that and then I'll stop. I'll do tomorrow again or something. Let's patch shelf patch health, and native build inputs patch health, patch health. Does something change? Patch the binary to use the correct interpreter. Wow. Well, let's try this. We should build it again. Oh. Patch. That's a typo. Patch. P-A-T-C. P-A-T-C-H-L. It's building. Wow. Will this thing work? Cannot open shared object, no such file. Shared libraries. libavahi client. Now there's a new error. Okay, I'm just going to do this and then I have to do something else. But this new error indicates that eating webcam requires additional shared libraries. They're not available in the Nix store. So these are shared libraries which are not, oh, I see. So we declared stuff that the package needs, but the package also needs additional shared libraries, which kind of presumes Nix has it. And these are not available in the Nix store by default. You'll need to add the missing library to buildInputs, so it's available when running the binary. So this is now the difference between native buildInputs and buildInputs. Identify dependencies. libavahi client is a part of the avahi package, which provides network service discovery libraries. And there might be additional dependencies. So we need avahi. Really, it's avahi? NixOS search avahi. Avahi, yeah, Python avahi. All right. Well, let's try this too because it's just too fun to stop, right? But as you can see, this is this kind of a process. Avahi, I guess you have to go through it and practice. Avahi, buildInputs. So now we're gonna add here buildInputs. Avahi. And that will be it. Now let's try again. Next build. And now it's doing much more. This looks much better. Maybe it won't work, but it looks better. It's doing a lot more. Wow, let's do result. Cannot open. It still outputs this. Interesting. It still outputs. If adding avahi to buildInputs didn't resolve the issue, it may be due to our webcam not being able to locate within the Nix environment. It expects library specific path but doesn't find them. You can use patchelf, patch health. So patch health kind of, it's like a, you know, someone who helps find things to add an RPath to the binary directing it to search for shared libraries in the correct NixOS paths. Use patchelf to set the RPath. Modify the install phase. So use patchelf set RPath to specify the paths where the NixOS libraries are located. Modify the install phase. Patchelf, what are you going to do? Build, unpack, install phase. Set RPath to ensure the binary can be found. Rebuild and test. Set RPath to ensure the binary can be found. Okay, I want to stop here actually, and because this is already going for an hour and 15 minutes, it's getting really interesting. It was very interesting. I hope the sound will be recorded. Otherwise, I have to gonna make this 3 times. So I'm kind of happy with the progress so far. And next time I'm going to explore the patchelf, the RPath, exploring RPath and patchelf to find the libraries, the shared libraries, right? That's where we stop. Okay, so at the end, okay. So it's nice because I kind of chat with ChatGPT now, and then into the description of the YouTube video, I'm gonna put give me now an outline of what we did so far, and please write as in I am doing it, and be concise but technical, so that it's easy to read and yet don't leave out any important info. So this is for my YouTube video description, and what I am going to do next time is explore patchelf and setting the RPath to find the shared libraries that the program needs. Something like that. So now ChatGPT is going to give me some kind of an outline and packaging existing software with Nix, using Nix, steps covered, setting up the derivation using fetch URL, customizing unpackPhase, adding dependencies, use buildInputs, setting the interpreter with patchelf. Maybe this is too short. Please outline some of the mistakes we did during the process. So this is too short because mistakes are important. Let's see the second. Customizing unpackPhase. Saw by manually specifying unpackPhase and using dpkg in native buildInputs. Like avahi, place dependencies incorrectly. Setting the interpreter with patchelf. Wait, does YouTube description take some kind of formatting like MD? Because I want to copy and paste this. YouTube descriptions support a limited set of form, but don't support in Markdown, line breaks, URLs, hashtags. All right. Well, I'm just gonna copy and paste this. This is not bad. So yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks. And bye-bye.